shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real itself. Might not haven't seen the glory of the cup and nothing left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real itself. Might not haven't seen the glory of the cup and nothing left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. Money. That's all you got to do.
Like Kanye West says, having money is not everything. Not having it is. No, Deuteronomy 8:18 God gives us the ability to create wealth. No, it's the love of money that's wrong. You don't like money so much, why you get up and go to work? What are you doing about money? I'm just trying to leave a legacy for money. That's not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. Now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor to the working class, Cortez.
Good morning, good people. It is your main man here, H. Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the working class, where I do my absolute best to bring practical yet proven wealth building strategies to working class men and women all over this great nation of ours. I thank you guys for tuning in to Talking Money in the Morning live. I see a lot of familiar faces, and I really appreciate that. I count it an honor, privilege, and a blessing to be able to present to you and hang out with you each and every morning, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. on the Talking Money in the Morning live show. I really appreciate you guys coming to hang out. Bridget said the wrong Bridget. Okay, sorry, Bridget. Cool. Well, we're talking about the power of unity today. And we're going to get into a deeper dive, man, because unity is something. There's only one thing, the one power that is greater than unity, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But before we do, since we're already running in late, let's get in and get it on. Today's show is for those who are rising and grinding this morning. If you are serious about your grind, and every morning you get up, you put your feet on the floor, and you take a 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 10 steps towards your dreams, goals, and aspirations, this show, my friend, is for you. If you're the type of person that's got the desire and discipline to do greater things, have wealth, have success in your business, in your career, if you want to have success in your relationships with your family, and you just need some tips, strategies, some advice, a mentor, this show, my friend, is for you. If you like the idea of being able to be straight when it comes to your money, whether you roll over in bed or roll out of bed, this show is for you. And if you are serious about building a legacy for your family, leaving a mark on this world and not a stain, this show, my friend, is for you. On the other hand, who is this show not for? It's not for you, man. If you are the type of person that thinks money is evil, capitalism is a dirty word, this show ain't for you, man. Because when you have that weird relationship with money, what you do is you tend to repel money away from you and never attract money to you. Now, money is just a resource, and most people get upset when other people are pursuing money, but it's just a resource. If you turned on your water faucet and didn't have water coming out of that thing, you'd be upset. Water is a resource. Money is a resource. So this show is about helping people get to a place where whenever they turn on that faucet, it's going to be some money running out of that thing. A resource. If that's not you, that's cool. This show ain't for you. If you're the type of person that's sitting back waiting on the government to fix the economy instead of focusing on your economy, this show ain't for you. If you don't like the fact that I just said the word money 30 times in the last 12 seconds, this show definitely ain't for you. Now, let's be clear. I don't have a problem with you not wanting to be wealthy. I only have a problem with you if you have a problem with me wanting to be wealthy. Because as I let you know, every morning, if you've never seen a future billionaire before, take a screenshot because you're looking at one. So if that's not you, you got a problem with me just making that bold proclamation, that statement, that declaration, then this show ain't for you, man. You can tune out and we won't hold anything against you. Today's show is brought to you by none other than the Financial Health Mentor. Guys, my financial success membership is free for a limited time. That means you can partner with me, get me as a mentor, get me as a business coach, trainer, wealth strategist, and I want to help you get your money in order. It's free to join, but it is $35 a month. Guys, we're talking about a little over $1 a day to get the systems, the education, everything that you need to actually build wealth. We're talking about having the ability to learn how to minimize your taxes, eliminate your debt, free up the cash that you need to start investing, and ultimately learn some investment education that will teach you where to invest to get double-digit rates of returns. In addition to that, I have a great referral program. So if you know friends and families that you want to refer to the program, you can also earn referral bonuses. So guys, you can't beat that for zero startup costs and just a little over $35. Just a little over $1 a day, $35 a month. If you want to learn more about that program, then I want you to go to www.myfamilyempire.com. www.myfamilyempire.com. You can watch a video, learn about everything it is that we do, and then you can just go ahead and sign up right there on the spot. No strings attached, guys. Straight up, it's 30. You got 30 days before your first $35 a month monthly fee is due, but you're not signing a contract that says I'm gonna join for free and then I got to pay this $35 for 12 months. Nope. If I can't get you in a better place financially in these first 30 days, you can cancel and never even pay the first $35 a month. But I'm so confident in what it is that I do and my ability to teach you the strategies that you're missing to get over the hump financially, that you're going to want to give me more than $35 a month. But all I require is $35 and I'm going to help you get your money right. So enough about that. Let's get on to today's show. Today we're talking about the power of unity, guys. Why is there no unity in the community? Right? I'll talk to you and tell you why. There's only one power greater than the power of unity, in my opinion, and that is the power of love. It's one power greater than the power of unity, and that's the power of love. So when the question is asked why we don't unite, the answer is simple: because we don't love. That's it. End of the show. Thank y'all for coming out. Have a good morning. Good night. No, but that's it. We don't have unity because we don't love. Point blank, period. And that love starts with the person in the mirror. When you don't love that person, you cannot love anybody else. And we got some weird relationships with ourselves. That's why we have weird relationships with one another. And that's why we can't unite, right? But we're going to stick to our theme, guys. If you didn't check out Wednesday show, Tuesday show, we started talking, excuse me. We started talking about my man, Myron Golden. If you're not familiar with Myron Golden, I want you to go check out his work, because I listened to his lecture and I got these points from him, and I just didn't want to do one long lecture. So I just broke it up. So I'm giving it to you one piece at a time. But he talks about the scriptures in the Bible, starting with Proverbs 30 and 24. Now, you don't have to be a believer in the Bible to understand biblical truth, right? Because if you know anything about a wisdom, then you know that wisdom begins, the prerequisite to wisdom is actually ignorance. And that is the absence of truth, right? And then you get knowledge. What is knowledge? That is the accumulation of truth. And then you get understanding. What is understanding? You understand why something is true. And then when you start combining all of those into life experiences, then what you draw from those experiences become wisdom, is the application and the lessons learned from the application of truth. So you can draw truth from anywhere. And part of the reason we don't grow as fast as we should be growing, the brain literally has an infinite capacity to learn and to know. But because we don't understand that we can draw wisdom from any and everywhere, then we're not sucking up wisdom and we're not growing as fast as we are capable of growing. Remember you first had your kid? And it just seemed like the kids were, they just grow so fast. They get so knowledgeable so quick. Why? Because they take in wisdom, or they take in knowledge from everywhere. And then they're constantly applying that knowledge to gain wisdom. But we get to a certain point, usually kindergarten, right? The minute we get into this public school system, that all changes, right? Because then they start to, instead of us taking in knowledge from everywhere, then we start only taking in knowledge from certain inputs. And I don't know where you're from or how you think about that, but where I'm from, when you can only take knowledge from a certain input, that's called programming. That's called programming. That's not called learning. So as a result, we go through life learning how to only receive wisdom or knowledge from certain inputs. And because of that, we stop growing at that astronomical rate. But if you stayed in nature like we were when we were born, you will continue to gain wisdom or knowledge from everywhere, because everywhere you look in nature, there is a lesson to be learned. Right? But how do we go there? We're talking about unity. All right. Oh, we went there because I was saying that even if you're not a Bible believer, even if you're not a Christian, you can understand how to gain wisdom from the passages in the Bible, especially if you read the book of Proverbs, man. If you want to learn how to live a life of prosperity, peace, abundance, sound quality relationships, man, book of Proverbs, whether you're a Bible believer or a Christian or not, just understanding those truths is powerful in and of itself. So we started with Proverbs 30 and 24. It says, 4 things are small on the earth, but are exceedingly wise. And then it starts to go down into our 4 things. So on Tuesday, we did the first thing, which was the ant. Small on the earth, exceedingly wise. What did we learn from the ant? We learned the power of preparation. The power of preparation. And ant takes the summertime when things are plentiful, and they literally gather their food all summer. What do most people do in the summertime? Most people play the role of the grasshopper. The grasshopper parties all summer, eats this plenty right there during the summer, and that's why he's not prepared for the winter. So we learn the power of preparation from the ant. Guys, as people, we have got to know that winter comes every cotton picking year, man. Every year. But every year we're not prepared for it. So you got to learn the power of preparation and why that's important, because it's going to save you time and it's going to save you energy, and it's going to always put you in a better place mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, when you hit that lean time. I didn't say if you hit that lean time. I said when you hit that lean time. Because these are seasons. Everybody go through these seasons in their life. You go through seasons in your life. You go through spring, or let's start with summer. You go to the summer is the place of abundance. Everything is going right in your life. It's just, I mean, man, you're just clicking on all cylinders, right? And then you go through a transition period where things aren't working so well for you, but you're still maintaining. That's fall. Fall is transition. Right? And then you get into your lean time. That is your winter, where things aren't going so well. You're not as productive. You're on hard times, just because, not because of anything that you're doing wrong or bad or anything like that. Life is just cyclical like that, because you have to go through those lean times to get to what's going to happen in the next season. The next season is the new growth. That's the spring. Right? You get fresh ideas, fresh perspective, fresh everything. But where does that come from? That comes from a season of struggle, right? You draw lessons out of that season. And when you draw those lessons out of that season, then, my friend, you get new growth, you get new ideas, you get a new passion, you get a new exuberance, you get an awakening, so to speak, and you take that new energy and you become super productive with it. And that's your summer again, where now you're clicking on all cylinders again. And it's not every 3 months like the calendar season for people, but know that life is cyclical. So if you're in a time where everything is really rocking and rolling in your life, you better be taking something, putting it to the side and preparing for your lean times. you better start understanding that the lean time is coming, right? And then when you get into that transition of fall, just start thinking about, okay, now things are transitioning for me. I better step up my game in preparation for winter, because I know the next season is that lean time. So we learn from the ants the power of preparation. We learn from the conies. They are a feeble people. I think the Bible put it. There are feeble people, a feeble folk, but they make their homes in the rock. So what do we learn from them? That is Proverbs 30 and 25, I believe, or it might even be 26. Yeah, it's 26, because 25 was ants gather all summer and prepare. So 26 is conies are a feeble folk, but make their homes in the rocks. What do we learn from them? We learn the power of leverage. They have sense enough to realize that, yes, if we put our heads to it, we try really hard, we probably can build something, build us a home, build us a structure that's pretty strong. But you know what? There is a strong rock fortress right there. Why don't we just take our knowledge and our intellect and let's make that into our home? So they leverage something that already exists. They leverage something that already exists. We have the misnomer that every time we want to do something grand, we have to recreate the wheel. And that's part of our problem. We're always trying to start something new, and we never learn how to leverage that which exists. So we talked about the power of leverage on yesterday's show. And today we're talking about the power of unity, because in verse 27, it says, the locusts have no king, yet they move about in bands, or they go forth in bands, something to that effect. All that simply means is, even without a king, nobody directing them and telling them, they've got the wherewithal. Maybe it's instinctive, it's just programmed in their DNA. They've got the wherewithal to understand that we need to stick and stay together, right? We need to stick and stay together. And the only way you can stick and stay together and move in bands without a king, without someone directing or telling you, is you have to have an abundance of love within yourself. You have to have an abundance of love. You guys know my favorite saying. Ancient African proverb says this: to go fast, go alone. But to go far, go together. So we're talking about the power of unity, and the fact that where there is no love, there is no unity. There's only one thing more powerful than the power of unity, in my opinion. That's the power of love. But we don't unite because we don't love, starting first with the person in the mirror. We have weird relationships with ourselves, guys. We have all of these conflicts within ourselves. And that's part of the problem, that we have these weird relationships and these conflicting relationships and things with our peers and the people around us. So the power of unity begins with the power of love, but that begins with you loving yourself to the nth degree, because it's only when I love myself to the fullest capacity that I can see my neighbor and my brother as myself. And until I can see my neighbor and my brother as myself, I will not be able to fully unify with them. Because when it comes to unity, we have got to be willing to lay down our lives one for another. And if I don't love you, Joker, last thing I'm going to do is lay down my life for you. But I can't even love you when I don't love me. So the power of unity, guys, that's why we don't unite, is because we don't love ourselves first. Therefore, we can't love our neighbors as ourselves. Therefore, we will never be able to unite until we fix these internal conflicts that we have going on inside, that's keeping us from truly and fully loving ourselves. And until you can do that, you can't truly and fully unite with another band of people, because you can't do that without the love. Gotta have the love, man. That's where we are, man. We can't unite because we don't love one another. And we can't love one another the way we should because we first don't love ourselves. We got to get to the place where we sit down long enough to do some internal inventory and figure out what's going on in here. What's going on in here that's causing me to have this conflicting relationship with myself. One minute I love myself to death, the next minute I don't care too much about myself. And how do I know you don't care too much about yourself? Because I can look at the way you let people treat you, and that tells me that you don't care too much about yourself. Right? So on one hand, you love yourself. On the other hand, you believe little of yourself enough to let somebody dog you out. So we got to fix that relationship within first. So to love ourselves deeply enough first, then we can love our brother as we love ourselves. And that's where unification happens, man. That's where we can unite. Got to take that internal inventory, man, and just see what's going on. Some of it's past hurts, past wrong. Some of us did love ourselves and love somebody deeply, and that person hurt us. So now that robbed us of our capability to love ourselves, man, you better heal from that. Right? You better figure out how to heal from that, because it will drag you down for the rest of your life. Ask me how I know. I'll say that for another show, but ask me how I know. You better heal from that, because it'll drag you down. Literally, it had me in a place where I was in a mental institution. I don't even know how long. I want to say 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. But I at that point in my life, I was so depressed, and I was so messed up from internal hurts that I couldn't even keep track of time. So I don't know, but I thank God for a wife that loved me through it, though. And it's funny because when in '96 I lost my brother. My brother got killed to gun violence here in St. Louis, and I was living in New Orleans at the time. And the reason I was down south in the first place is in '95, I went down south. I said, man, I'm going down south to find me a wife. If I'm going to find me a good woman, I'm going to find one down south, right? So I go down south, trying to find this good woman. I couldn't find one. But then I was in Tupelo, which was where I'm born. And then I ended up in New Orleans, where my grandmother was living, and my uncles. So he was training me as an apprentice. And then I got the news that my brother had been killed. So immediately we get in the truck, we drive back to St. Louis, and that messed us up, man. But when I came back, there was 3 young ladies that I said, you know what, if they're still available, I'm going to see which one will have me. And I believe between those 3, they are wife material. Turns out neither one of those 3 were there. Because see, I had something in my cards, but God had something different in the cards. Neither one of those 3. And the other thing I said, so you know what? I will never mess with a woman with children, because I didn't want to deal with baby daddy drama. So when my wife, who I went to high school with, I've known her all this time, but I never thought, I wrote a cute little poem for her, and it says something like, the first day I saw you, I knew you were heaven sent. I just had no idea heaven sent you to me, right? You can give me a thumbs up for that. I know that's a cute line. But yeah, so that, but when I went to the funeral on my way, the wake for my brother, she was there, and she was good friends with my cousin, but I didn't know that they had maintained their friendship. So I knew she wasn't there because of our relationship. I just thought she was there because of, her relationship with my cousin. Lo and behold, we end up getting together. And I bring that up because when I went through my Red Sea, right? I call it my Red Sea, because everybody's got a Red Sea, a tough time that you went through. That's how you never let a future tough time keep you down. Because I can say I went through that. And guess what? The same woman that loved me through that is right here with me. So as long as I got that, I know I'm somehow going to make it through this. And I say that to say this. I don't know, had I chosen one of those other 3 women, if they would have been strong enough or willing enough to love me through what I went through, because it was hell, man, for about 12 months, 18 months. I mean, I was so depressed. I was so messed up. I had long dreads. I smoked weed every day. I ran the streets. And my wife saw the diamond in all of the coal. However, her family and those around her couldn't. They kept saying that, yeah, he's a young man, he's a nice young man, he's smart, he's intelligent. But the minute we start going through these struggles, the first thing they said, yep, I told you, I told you. So they were waiting on something to happen to pull me away from her, pull me away from her. And she was like, no, something is wrong with him. That's not him. Y'all don't know him. That's not him. And she forced me into the hospital where I was able to get my healing and recover. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even be here today right now, y'all. So when I tell you that you can't have unity without first truly loving yourself, I witnessed the power of love, guys. And it was because of that power of love that transformed this guy right here. See, women, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. You can't change a man, but you can be inspiration for his change. So we're talking about the power of unity, but it starts with the power of love. So I had to deal and clean out a lot of internal stuff that will allow me to fully love myself and fully accept who I am. Because for the first 27, 28 years of my life, I tried extremely hard to convince everybody that I really was who I was pretending to be. I'm gonna let that sink in. For the first 27, 28 years of my life, I tried extremely hard to convince everybody that I really was who I was pretending to be. And if it wasn't for that young lady back there, I don't know where I'd be right now. I don't know where I'd be. I probably wouldn't even be alive today. Because at that point in my life, I wasn't trying to kill myself, but I didn't care if I died either. And she loved me through that. So the power of love is real. She said, say that again. I spent the first 28 years of my life trying to convince everybody around me that I really was who I was pretending to be. In the last 14 years of my life, I came to terms with who I really am. And you either accept it, you either love it, or you leave it. But I'm gonna love me some me, and that's it. That's it, period, right? So let me get back to what we were talking about. So we were talking about the locusts have no king, but they move about in bands. That means they move together. They move together. That's what so in order to move as a unit without a king or commander, I see you, bro. I love you too, Juan. In order to move as a commander, without a commander, it's got to be love there. Because when you love somebody, you're thinking about their best interest. So before they take that first step, you're already stepping there for them, because you're saying, you know what? I see where you're going. I see where you're going. I see what you're going through. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. So you don't need somebody else from the outside commanding you when you have that kind of love. So we're going to talk about a couple things, guys, because the sun is coming up and I still don't have a blind in my kitchen window. So that blind is gonna come. I mean, that sun is gonna come through and kill us. So let me go through this really quickly. So we talked about the one thing that's greater than unity, and that is love. We don't love one another, or we don't love ourselves. Therefore, we don't love one another, and we will never be able to unite until we get that thing figured out. All right. Let's talk about the love within the family. Again, it starts with loving yourself first, and then you can love others, and that starts in your own household, your immediate family. Right? Whether that immediate family is you and a wife and children, or if you're not married, still single, that it's just you and your parents, you and your brothers and sisters. It starts there, man. Tighten that bond, man, especially if you have children when they're little, right? When they're little. I'll tell you another quick story. My son, my oldest son right now is 24, right? Now, he is my son. He is fully my son, but I met him when he was 4 years old. Some of y'all understand what I mean by that. He is fully my son, but I met him when he was 4 years old, when I came into to my wife's life, right? And I've been raising them since 4 years old, and his brothers since they were 2. But right now, at 24, he has 0 words for me. He has 0 words for me. We can't even hold a conversation, right? So, and it stemmed from him a couple years ago, I kind of gave him an ultimatum, man. I'm gonna pay for you to go to college, and if you want to go to college, then I'm gonna pay for it. Don't worry about that. I got you. But he went to college on a wrestling scholarship, stopped wrestling, so he lost his scholarship, then had to take out a loan. But I said, bro, you're my son. I'm gonna make sure it's my job to make a provision for you to get your education. So I got you. He decided to not stop wrestling and start working a job. So he started working a job. And then ultimately, he decided to not finish college, came home, all right? Gave him 3 years. Gave him 3 years. Bro, you got to get yourself together. If you're going to do your grown man thing, then you got to do your grown man thing outside of my house, right? The only way that I can pay for you to live somewhere is if I pay for you to live on somebody's college dorm, in someone's college dorm, or someone's college campus, or even apartment off campus, so you can get an education. That's where I help you. So he's a little upset that we ended up putting him out, and literally have no words. But let me tell you this, guys: if you don't understand your children and what their love languages are, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the book, The 5 Love Languages. I think it's Gary Chapman wrote that book. But The 5 Love Languages talks about how those around you receive love. See, we give love in our own love language, but how people around you receive love is different. There's 5 love languages. There is quality time, there is words of affirmation, there is physical touch, there is acts of service, and there is gifts. There is gifts. So there's quality time, acts of service, gifts, words of affirmation, and physical touch. So I read this book to create a better relationship with my wife, but then there's a sequel to the book, The 5 Love Languages for Children, or something like that. And I never thought about the love languages for children. And the reason I bring this up, because it saddens me that I can't have a relationship with my son at this life as he's going through and going through what I went through. I'm hoping he's not slipping into a deep depression, but he won't let me help him. So I'm struggling to figure out how to help him and how to help him overcome. But what I realized now, looking back over our life, realizing what his love language actually was, and it was quality time. Now, he wrestled all through Little League and high school and stuff like that, and he got quantity time from me because I was always there, taking him to practices, picking him up, taking him to trainings, taking him to meets and all that stuff. He got a lot of my time. The quantity was way up, but I don't know about the quality. And if that's his love language and that's what he needed, then I missed the mark on him receiving the love the way that he understands what love to be. I gave him love the way I give love, the way I want to receive love. And sometimes it's like he's speaking Spanish, I'm speaking French. We're talking all the time, but we're not actually communicating. You guys understand that? We're talking about the power of love leading to the power of unity. If you don't understand how to love somebody, you can never truly unite with them. So y'all guys pray for me to fix that as we're trying to work through that. But I believe I know it's going to be all right, because I'm not going to rest until it's all right. But that's just something that, I just want to share that with y'all, because that we're talking about the power of love. And those books, The 5 Love Languages and The 5 Love Languages for Children, you understand the love language of the person that you love, and you give them love the way that they receive love. Not the way that you receive love, because it could be different. My love language is physical touch. I like to be hugged and held and stuff like that, right? I like to hold hands with my wife. Her love language is acts of service. She likes when I do stuff for her. So when I hug her, that's not telling her I love her. But when I do something for her, that's telling her I love her, because that's the way she receives love, right? So she knows that doing stuff for me is cool, but the way I feel that she loves me, she's got to hug me. So that's just a little relationship tip too. So you guys got to get that book and understand how people receive love. And some people are bilingual. Some people are bilingual. That means they got a couple love languages, but you got to figure out the two that shows them how that you love them and the way that they receive it. So again, there's acts of service. Some people just, and how do you know somebody's love language? In the book, it talks about that. The way you can identify somebody's love language is by the way they act. If you are around somebody who's always doing things for other people, then their love language is acts of service. They just love serving people. Well, guess what? You can give that person all the gifts you want to. You can hug them all you want to. You can give them quality time. But if you're not doing something for them, they don't feel loved, because acts of service is their love language. Gifts. Some people don't feel love unless you're giving them gifts. You're showering them with gifts. How do you know that somebody's love language is gifts? Because they're always trying to give you something. They're always giving gifts. They're always giving stuff away. You see people work so hard for their money, and then every time somebody has a baby shower or something, and they're the first one to the store to buy a gift and wrap it up all neat, and they're always giving. Well, guess what? You can hug that person. You can spend quality time with that person. You can do stuff for them. You can give them words of affirmation. But if you're not giving them gifts, they don't feel loved. All right. So acts of service, gifts, words of affirmation. That is my second language. My second language is, you guys hear me on this show every morning. How do you know that words of affirmation is my language? Because I give words of affirmation all day, every day. I'm just constantly trying to lift people up, motivate, encourage them. That's my love language. So you can give me gifts. You can do stuff for me. You can spend quality time with me. But if you are not giving me words of affirmation, then I don't feel loved. My wife tells me all the time, I've never seen you fail at anything. So every time I come up with a new idea, she says, man, yeah, of course, you can do that. Yeah, she's backing me up 100%. She's giving me those words of affirmation, and I feel the love. And every time I walk out of my house, I don't feel like I can conquer the world. I know I can conquer the world because of the way she's loved me, right? Got to get that, got to get that. Then, so acts of service, gifts, words of affirmation, quality time. Don't make the mistake I made with my son and confuse quality time with quantity time. See, quality time says I can be around you and we can be doing everything that I want to do. Quality time says we're going to be around each other and I'm going to take an extreme interest in everything that you want to do. Big difference. Now, if you're giving quality time, it doesn't matter about the quantity, but every time we're together, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to shut it down and I'm going to listen and pay full attention to you and love you wholeheartedly and take a real interest in what it is that you want to do, how you want to do it, and why you want to do it. Right? Quality time, not quantity time. Right? So acts of service, acts of service, words of affirmation, quality time, gifts, and then the fifth one is physical touch. Physical touch. Now, this one you have to be careful with when you identify this one in your child. Physical touch, that child that needs to just be hugged and all lovey-dovey all the time. That's just how they receive love. So that child you have to be careful with, because there's a lot of people preying on children and pedophiles and things of that nature. That is one of my love language, physical touch. So when you're around someone or one of your children has that as their love language and you never hug them, man, if they need physical touch as their love language and you never hold their hand, you never kiss them on the forehead, what do you think is going to happen when they go out into this world and someone's going to be willing to hug them all the time? They're going to fall head over heels, man. Right? And that's also the recipe for one of the biggest issues that we have in our community is sexual molestation. Because when a child's love language is physical touch and someone finally touches them in the right, starts to touch them and whether it's a good touch or a bad touch, someone is touching them and that's how they feel love. Someone is showing them affection through touch. That's how they feel love. So that's why that's important to understand these love languages in your children. And if you have a child like that, then you need to make sure that their love tank is full every time they leave your house. That way they won't be going out seeking a hug, seeking a kiss, seeking a held hand from somebody else. And that way they won't fall prey to one of these pedophiles or predators out here, right? Ask me how I know. That's another story. We'll talk about that on another show. So we're talking about the power of unity. We can't unite until we get this love thing down. So unity in the family starts right there in the home, right? You got to start in the home. Be a unified front in the home. Now, what we can do is once we become extremely unified, let me see if I can get the sun out of my eye just a bit, guys. See if I run over here. And that way it'll be a little bit better for you guys, because I've got about 15 more minutes. You guys can hang with me for another 15 minutes. All right, so we'll do it like that. So sun's out of my eye. So what happens is when you can become a solid unit as a family and you love one another as a family the way that you should be loved, starting with the love that you have for yourself, then the love for the members in that family. Now, guys, we can take a whole family. They can find another unit that's in love the same way. Now y'all can lock arms together. And if that keeps happening throughout the community, now we have a strong, unified community. You have a strong, unified community. I hope y'all get that. We can't build a community without unity, and we can't have unity without love. Can't have love if we're not willing to do the internal inventory and see what's keeping us from truly loving ourselves the way that we actually should. All right, so that's love in the family. Unity in business. Guys, we've got to get to the place where it's about collaboration and not competition. Collaboration and not competition, right? There's unity in collaborating, and there's disunity in competition, because there's enough money out here for everybody. We've got to understand that scarcity is man-made. I'm gonna say that again. Scarcity is man-made, where they make you think there's only a limited amount of resources. Y'all know how big this freaking earth actually is? And the reason you don't get to understand the things that we need to understand, everything that we need comes from this earth. Problem is, we've gotten so detached from the earth that we can't see that the house came from the trees right outside. We can't see that the medicine came from the plants right in the backyard. So we're putting ourselves in position that allow us to have scarcity affect us in a negative way. Scarcity is man-made. There is no such thing as scarcity. There's an abundance of everything that you need for your life on this earth. And in most cases, you can go right in your backyard. Because I don't know if you guys know, and I'm not going to go too deep, but I don't know if you guys know how amazingly well put together God did this thing, man. I'm just going to give you a tip. I don't know how amazingly creative and well put together that you guys know this thing is. You know, if I go outside, every morning I go outside and I put my bare feet on the earth. Two reasons I do that. Number one is we were never intended to never not be connected to the earth. God intended us to be permanently connected to this earth. Why? Because the earth feeds us. The earth feeds us and nurtures us. We are living organisms, but we also have electromagnetic tendencies and pulses that run through us. And what refreshes us is the earth. If you ever charge the battery, you know you got a positive on one end and a negative on the other end. Well, guess what? Our body is full with those little batteries. And guess what? We got a positive in the sky and we got a negative on the ground. You got to be connected to both. Got to be connected to both in order to stay fully recharged. We were never intended to not be connected to the earth. Man did that by putting rubber soles on your shoes. that disconnects you from the earth. Man did that by creating structures that's lifted up off the ground, so there's no connection to the ground. In ancient times, we built all of our homes right on the ground, and they had dirt floors for a reason. We were never intended to not be connected to the earth. So in losing that connection, we lose a lot of things. Now, I forgot where I was going with this, but I go out every morning, I put my feet on the earth. Oh, I was talking about how everything we need is actually in our own backyard, literally. You go outside and you put your feet on the earth, and everything that you need, your body and and the earth are so connected that when I put my feet on the ground, it's sending signals to the earth that Cortez is here. Cortez lives in this vicinity. And because Cortez lives in this vicinity, the earth is able to map my DNA in this vicinity, and every plant that I need to heal my body grows in my backyard because of that. Now, that may be too deep for some of y'all. I just wanted to throw that out there. But every plant that I need to heal my body grows in my backyard right now. You know why? Because I've made my presence known by stepping in my backyard constantly with no shoes on. My connection to the earth, that's where I go. That's where I meditate. So because I notify the earth that I am here, it says, you know what? Based on your DNA, based on your ancestry, then we're going to grow some chickweed over here. We're going to make sure that you got plenty of dandelion over here. We're going to make sure you got plantain over here. And we like to call that stuff weeds. It's not weeds, man. It's everything that you need to heal your body. Right? So I just got on that because we're talking about scarcity. There's no such thing as scarcity. Everything that you need grows on this earth. But you have to understand and get yourself out in nature so you can start seeing and learning these lessons. We learned the lesson from the ant that they prepare all summer. When other people are partying, they are preparing. When other people are hurting because they're going through their lean times, what are the ants doing? They are partying because they prepared. We learn from the conies to leverage things around you. They go through build a house in the rocks that already exist, right? So that's what you have to understand, that this thing, man, is nature is ever teaching, but you got to get out in nature so that you can learn. And then we learn from the locusts, even though they have no king, they have no commander, they go forth in bands like a marching army. They go together in unity. We got to have unity, but we can't have unity without love. And you can't have love for the community until you first have love for yourself. You got to look at that person in the mirror and say, you know what? Whatever's going on inside causing a conflict in this relationship with self, I've got to get that straight so that I can finally love myself. First 28 years of my life, I tried extremely hard to convince everybody that I really was who I was pretending to be. And things did not go on in my life in the right direction until I came to terms with who I am, and I began to love that person and love that person affectionately. And now I can give a damn who don't like who H. Cortez is, because I am who I am for a reason. And if I'm not who if I'm pretending to be something else, the person that I need to be so that I can make the connection with the other person that I was supposed to intersect with to help them on their purpose, we never make that connection because I'm pretending to be somebody, he's pretending to be somebody, and we never connect. But when I am me and they are them and our paths cross, then we know instantly, boom. I don't know what it is about you, but you're supposed to be at my life in this time, and I'm supposed to be in your life at this time. Let's create this relationship, and we'll start to figure out why this relationship is in need. Right? Let's figure out why this relationship, because we don't know right away, but we sense. See, we are people of feeling. So when I intersect with somebody, and I'm being who I'm being who I'm supposed to be, and they are true to themselves, being who they're supposed to be, and our paths cross. Boom. Wait a minute. What's your name, bro? Okay. Yeah. Let me get your number. I don't know why, but we need to connect some kind. Let's keep in touch. We keep in touch. We'll figure out why we're supposed to keep in touch. But that feeling says, and then that person won't look at you crazy, because if he's who he is supposed to be, he's gonna say, "Damn, I feel it too, bro. Yeah, for whatever reason, we were supposed to be here at this time in this place right now. I actually saw it in a dream 3-4 days ago. Deja vu is happening right now. Let's connect, bro, and we'll figure out why we're supposed to connect later. But let's not miss this connection right here. Right? So I know that's kind of heavy for some of y'all, man. You know, I never know. I just let the spirit lead, man. I never know where we're going with a lot of this stuff. Yeah. Earthing, man. Earthing. I'm gonna tell you something, Lawrence. And I figured out even during the wintertime, I didn't got so cold with it, man. And even in the wintertime, I run a ground wire deep in the ground behind my house, and I run a copper wire from that ground wire into my bathroom, so I take grounded baths every day. When it's cold outside, when it's too cold to go put my feet outside, yeah, bro, I get it in, man. I stay connected to the earth, man. That's how I stay literally and figuratively grounded. See, a lot of people don't believe in being literally grounded. They say, oh, you need to be grounded, you need to be humble. No, you need to be physically grounded too, right? So guys, that's my time, man. I can ramble on and on, but I've got a basement to paint. I appreciate you guys coming. I know some of you guys don't come for that kind of conversation, but like I said, where the spirit leads, we got to get to the place where we are uniting one with another, but we won't get there until we start loving one with another. Once we start loving each other and loving ourselves first, then we can love our neighbor as ourselves. And then you get to the point where I take a bullet for you. You get to the point where you're not going to be able to come in this community and kill my kids, man, unless you're willing to come in this community and kill all of us. I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm H. Cortez, financial health mentor to the working class. Guys, if you want to participate in my financial education membership, it's free to join, $35 a month. I will help you get your money right. I will do that. But as you can see from today's conversation, I'll help you in a lot of other ways too. I mean, because I'm blessed to have been blessed by a lot of people in my life that helped me understand some truths about a lot of different things, man. So I will help you get your money right. That's what you join in the membership for, but you're actually forming a partnership with somebody who really, really does love and care for you. And I want you to take your life to another level. So go to myfamilyempire.com. If you want to start building a family empire, you're going to need a mentor. One thing wealthy people have in their life is mentorship. Somebody who is at a greater or higher place or has a better understanding of things that they don't, and then they plug in and listen to that mentor. So guys, I'm willing to be the mentor for you, but you got to put some skin in the game. Sign up for my program at myfamilyempire.com. Put in your best email address, name, and phone number. You're going to see a video of what our income shifting program can do for you. If you feel that I am a good mentor for you, if you feel that you can literally lock arms with me and I will take you where you want to go financially, spiritually, emotionally, wherever you feel your connection with me, partner with me in that membership, because that's where all of my time is going right now. So you will get me through that membership, and it's $35 a month. And I might even just be able to help you make some money along the way, man. So myfamilyempire.com. Guys, I appreciate you. I love you. I'm glad you guys tuned in. You guys stuck around for this shit. It's a whole hour, man. And usually we go for 30 minutes. So I really, really appreciate it. All the comments, man. I'm going to really, really look forward to connecting with you guys. If you're in the Atlanta area, the 14th and the 15th, I haven't put the event up, but I'm doing a meet and greet at the Crown Plaza Hotel near the airport in Atlanta from 9 to 11. 9 to 11. We might even do 8 to 11 because I'm in that hotel for a seminar, but I would love to do a meet and greet. And then if you want to get a presentation of my program live, then you can do that at that time as well. The Crown Plaza Hotel, I'm going to throw the event up today. I don't have it completed because I got to grab the address, because I want y'all to get the right address. But I'm in Atlanta the 14th, 15th, and 16th. I'm in Milwaukee on the 12th. So if any of you guys in Milwaukee, or I believe Minneapolis is not too far, if you're in that area and you want to come meet me, just send me an inbox. I'll put an event up for that. I think it's 12. Whatever next Wednesday is, I'll be in Milwaukee that time. So guys, if you want to plant a flag in your city teaching financial literacy, let me know, and I will come to your city and train you and show you how to set up your own financial education franchise, and we'll start building together, guys. So I'm your main man, H. Cortez, financial health mentor to the working class. Until I talk to you in tomorrow's episode, where we do Free Game Friday live Q&A, send me your questions and we'll go through that tomorrow. I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. Peace out, people.